I'm going to just spin up a few virtual machines and see what I can do. At the moment, we have a twisted pair wire running between, twisted pair wire, that doesn't even make any sense. A set of 4 wires, which are in twisted pairs, running between the house and the shed. There's a fair bit of distance between the two, and I was considering turning it into a 100 megabit per second internet connection, since that only needs 4 wires. I've ordered a few parts from my good friend eBay, and that might let me play around, and I'll see how bad interference is along that long run of cable. And I'm hoping to eventually get a Ethernet-based intercom system between the house and the shed through that 4-wire Ethernet link, using free PBX or something like that. And eventually I want to modernise our alarm system using Home Assistant and Node Red, get everything connected together, talking all through Ethernet and MQTT, and just, see where it leads me, learn a few new things along the way. That's about it, really. Back to you.
It's VK2 AOR.
Hey guys, we're just going off and having a play around with the live stream. Hopefully it's working. Acknowledging their VK2 SKC and VK2 AOR. Hello over there, guys. Welcome aboard. So we're at the moment there's just myself, Dave, VK2 VGA, Steve, and Bob. Anyone else?
VK2 Kilo Foxtrot Uniform.
VK2MG, I think I doubled with Steve.
Alrighty, we have VK2 KFU Dave, and we also have VK2 MG Alan. Hello there, Alan. Hey boys, how goes it all? We'll quickly flick it back up to David before we head on and down the list. The VK2 VGA, you have VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 VGA. I'll just say to everyone that's joined the net tonight. It's good to hear the cold hasn't sent you all off to bed yet. Just jumping back to our Ethernet conversation, I currently do have a PoE system up and running. that Ubiquiti Unify bullet access point that you gave me a while back. That's now in the ceiling and providing Wi-Fi coverage to the other half of the house, and it's working a treat. So that's sitting up there, and the repurposed twisted pair going between the house and the shed, I'm just going to use that for regular Ethernet. And in the shed itself, I'll have a probably an Arduino to read reading our two PIR sensors and reporting the information back to a Raspberry Pi running Home Assistant through MQTT, just to get all that down pat. And I'll also have a small wireless access point up there to provide Wi-Fi in our shed. So killing two birds with one stone there. Anyway, back to you, and we can carry on with the rest of the net tonight. VK2 NMZ, VK2 VGA.
VK2 VGA, VK2 NMZ. Wait, I'm glad to go through and see that the bullet, the 5 gigahertz bullet is going through and working. Fantastic to see. It's quite a little powerful device, and originally you can either put an omnidirectional antenna on there, which I'm assuming you have gone through and done, and you can also go in and put it into a dish as well. There's another fitting that you could put onto it. It goes into a dish, you get another one, and then you have yourself a mini point-to-point system. Good things to play around with. I would like to get myself I'd like to go through and get myself a few other little not access points, a switch from that brand as well. And I did also want to have a bit of a play around with Arduinos as well. I picked one up for about $12, I think, with a heap of LEDs. So that's the next thing for me to go around and play with. So it sounds like, yeah, everyone's been quite busy across the board, which is absolutely fantastic. And we'll go from here, we'll drop it down there to Steve, a VK2 SKC, a VK2 NMZ. Mate, your turn.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
To MNZ and Group VK2SKC. Nothing much. On one Facebook site, you actually stated that with doing your licence, it costs $90 for your licence, and to the marine to do test, and then $180 for the AMCA to process it. Sort of trying to work out the dollar-wise. Also, he's in the news about Terry in hospital. VK2MNZ, VK2SKC.
VK2 SKC, VK2 NMZ, mate. I did go through and I did hear. I saw that mail, which is definitely not the nicest of things to go through and happen. So I do wish that he does go through and has quite a bit of a speedy recovery. The other thing I was going to say is for the examinations, it was basically $90 per test. So if you were going through and going from, say, your foundation to your standard, that's going to cost you $180, as it's $90 for the examination or for both the standard exam, and $90 for the regulations as well. And to go from standard to advanced, that you're looking at $90 for that. And I'm assuming that may cost the same or a little bit more possibly for the foundation, because technically you have three components that you need to go through and do. So definitely a few interesting things here to go through and work out and see what can be worked out. Back to you, mate. VK2 SKC, VK2 NMZ.
VK2MNZ, VK2SKC. Nothing much else. Do you enjoy your little drive to work? Or do you drive to work when the prank happen with those trucks as well?
For those trucks, no, I started to leave, and was heading. I was only a few minutes away from the freeway. Then I went through and turned the radio on. I heard what was going on, and I then went off and flicked the car straight back around, and headed off back home. Jumped on the bike and took myself to the train station. It still took me quite a while to go through and get into work. I think I didn't actually get in till about nearly 10 o'clock. But at least I came through, got in, and at least I got through. It was a very, very long day. But yeah, it was very unfortunate of what came through and happened. And coming back through, is I remember seeing the front wheels for one of the trucks come through, and so that wasn't the nicest of things to go through and see. But hopefully, I know one of the truck drivers did survive, and the other one unfortunately didn't go through and make it.
Yeah, VK2M, it's a VK2SKC. Apparently at first the truckers were saying that they didn't realise the other one been down the embankment until they seen the side skirt removed, and they realised, hey, there's no truck down there. That's enough. That's it for now. VK2M is a VK2SKC.
Fair call, mate. Yeah, it was definitely going through and reading it. Wasn't good at all. But I'm glad I took the train. I even had some friends which said that it took them over 3 hours to go through and get in that day. Very long days. Alrighty, I'll come through and we'll head down the list there to Bob. VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR. Yeah, good day everyone. Steve, Brad, yourself. Just trying to think who else that I'd heard their call signs. Alan, VK2MG, and can't think who else it was right at the minute. I just dashed upstairs to grab a little device that I've had for a while. I've got two of them, called a NanoStation M2, which is a Wi-Fi device, but I believe you can get a download some firmware which changes the firmware and turns it into a ham mesh. So it's been a while since I've revisited that, but looking at doing something with that in the near future. And but the immediate project has been to try and get the packet system working on my old XP Mini. What do they call it? It's a HP Mini, like a laptop. So it makes it portable with the signal link box, and I've been receiving packets from Don's beaconing
Yep.
packets at 9600 baud and 1200 baud. I've been trying 1200 baud and receiving them fine. There's just some glitch in the and as you might understand, packet's not all that popular at the moment, and very little current tutorials and things on it, so a little bit to work out there. And that was exciting, at least receiving those signals. So that's about it from me at the moment. And still plodding on with some repairs I have to remedy. The other thing was the internet's back on tonight. I don't know if you've heard that or already broadcast that. The radar is working on set on 2 metres. Okay, back to, and other things are working too, so I have to check my emails yet and see if the whips are working. Okay, thanks Brad. Back to you. VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR.
Hey guys, I just quickly wanted to drop in and say hello. We're still going through basically having a bit of a play around with the streaming and just kind of to see how it goes. I did want to make a call out there. Hello there to who have we got? We have Ken, there's Ian, Al has dropped in as well. G'day there, Al. And I can see who else? We have Michael, VK2 MJB, mate. Hello there, welcome along. I'm just going to pick the mic up again now. VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ in the group. Mate, yeah, those M2 nano stations, they're absolutely fantastic. You can go through and get a couple of them, and you're able to make up a small point-to-point link. Quite capable little devices, and I believe Ian has some big boy air fiber 3.4 gig units as well, which is something they're very nice little units. Yeah, I did go through and see that mail, and it was good. You know, it wasn't us, it was them kind of thing. I've just checked, mate. Yeah, everything is back, including all the WIBs. So happy days for that. I tried to have a bit of a play with the packet on my side, or just using the sound card interface for my radio, but I couldn't for the life of me work it out or get it going. I've went off and downloaded a number of programs, but I just could not get it. So I may go through and drag it up on the Saturday for a bit and see if we can go through and can't go off and get it working again. That's about it from me. I think for the moment I haven't got anything huge and new and exciting. I've just checked the WIBs before. Let's see, flight feed is working happily. It looks like the audio feed is coming through nicely as well for the Book of Faces as well, which is very nice to go through and see. I've got multiple audio streams, so I've got a stream coming directly from my radio, and you can hear me for the Book of Faces anyway. It's coming through the microphone. Anyways, mate, I'll go off and we'll move it down the list there to Dave, a VK2 KFU, a VK2 NMZ. Mate, go ahead.
Oops, it looks like I've interrupted Karen there. VK2 NMZ, VK2 KFU. Currently using an Ethernet cable instead of my usual microphone cable, which has to be re-crimped. Fortunately, they are both straight through. What else have I got again? Just the usual some of your club news. Hopefully there'll be the lecture on surface mount soldering this weekend, and a bit of a blurb on the satellite dish that seemed to be arranged. Otherwise, the rest of the blurb is just the usual blurb. VK2 NMZ, VK2 KFU.
VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. Busy times all around. I don't know whether you managed to get an email out to that person that I've referred you to, but if you did, hopefully they may be able to bring some supplies in. But I know for my other radio, for my other 857, is I was just using an Ethernet cable just from the microphone to the radio, and it worked, and it was fine. It worked flawlessly without any problems at all. It's good idea about the satellite dish. Is I think that's we have a big list of things to go through and work on, and once we get everything done, I suppose we'll end up getting back to the satellite dish and that weather receiving station eventually. It's just, you just go through and add it to the list of things that need to be done. Oh, dearie me. Oh, good there, mate. Was there anything else that you wanted to add in before I kick it down the list?
No, that was about it without using expletive deleted words about my NBN service.
Oh dear. Did someone end up coming around yesterday at all?
There was supposed to be somebody coming round to inspect the place, but I was out all morning, so I wouldn't have known. They will come to dig up the trench apparently next Tuesday, I think, which of course is going to affect the rest of the block.
Next Tuesday. Maybe you might want to have. I can't remember if I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that in your mail somewhere, I think that may or may not have had the date in there. Well, I hope it's been going on for quite some time now, and I really do hope that they can come through and at least get this worked out for you, get it solved, and get that cut piece of fibre replaced, and go through and actually get you back online again. Considering how long it's been an incredibly long time, but it will get there eventually, and at least it's hopefully no more damage manages to go through and happen once the people go out and get it fixed. Oh, good there, mate. All right, let's kick on down there to Alan, VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
VK2NMZ in the group VK2MG. Not an awful lot from me. I was going to do a little bit, but you probably saw I got out to Madawi for what ended up as a great day on Sunday, which started out as a bit of a disaster, but it ended up having a pretty good day out there. I finally got all the bits put in this CW filter together, and almost there, just having a few teething problems with it. It's being exacerbated by the fact that the cheap little multimeter I'm using is a flat battery in it, and the case doesn't want to come off. That's being a bit of fun. Talking about mics on things like the 857 and the like, that little electret adapter that I posted on the group the other day should actually work on the 857 as well, I believe, because it's dropping into this is an MH31 mic. And I use a bit of Ethernet cable to run to there as well, just a little 1 foot cable. VK2NMZ, VK2MG.
VK2MG, VK2NMZ. I'll try that again. I did go through and see the post about you heading out, but unfortunately, I'll admit I've been bad. I haven't actually read it yet, but I did go through and see it, so that counts for something. Oh wow! So I also saw the picture of your little Kia as well. So very, very, very handy. I do have a multimeter at my place. I don't know where it is, but I do have one. So I think that it definitely goes through and counts for something. Oh dearie me. So just a quick couple of things as I'm just going through and just having a quick check of one of the things I should have actually mentioned at the start of this net is for any people that are shortwave listeners is you can go through and check in just by you can send an email through. You can flick that out to netmaster@ccarc.org.au and we'll be able to check that out. Or if you are on the Book of Faces, we do have a live stream going at the moment. What are we sitting at? 30 frames per second, and it's 4.3 megabits per second. So not too bad. We've got a few people coming in and watching as well. So there we have somebody. We have Theo who's dropped in and said hello. Ken from Queensland. As I mentioned, Michael. There's Ian. G'day there, Ian. I can see Miles, and we've got Jay as well who's dropped in. Hello, hello. Oh dear, mate. Oh, we've gone to the bottom of the list, mate. Was there anything else that you wanted to add before I make another call out? VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
Not really anything I can think of at the moment. Maybe something will come to me next round.
Fair call, mate. All right, well, we'll go through and see. Was there anybody else out there that did wish to go through and make a check-in tonight? This is VK2NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2 metre net. Please go ahead. I'm going to take that as a no. Alrighty. So what I'll do is we'll head back up to the top of the list there to Dave. VK2 VGA, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 VGA. Not much more to add. I was going to say something, but I think I can remember it now. Oh well, it'll come to me. I'll hand it back to you and you can get on with the net tonight. VK2 NMZ, VK2 VGA.
VK2 VGA, VK2 NMZ. One of the questions I did have is have you had much of a chance to play around with any of the other digital modes like Whisper or FT8 or the new FT4 that's just recently been released?
No, not yet. I have yet to get my hands onto a digital interface, and to be honest, I haven't had any time anyway, and I need to get my antenna sorted out as well. Well, I did see a few projects using a Arduino as a push-to-talk interface and a few other little projects like that, so I might see if I can cobble something together and get myself a digital interface one day soon. Might even be a project for this weekend. Who knows? Back to you.
Yeah, well, that's something. Yeah, you're able to go off and have a bit of a play with. And yeah, so I think I was lucky. I've managed to get a good score with this sound card interface that I picked up out at Dural. So that could be something, or whether I don't know whether any of your HF rig would go through and work with one of the signal link boxes, but you just need to go through and do a bit of research, or like you said, you can go off and create something through with an Arduino interface, as you can pretty much create anything with them. Okie dokie, mate. Let's head down the list back. We'll head back there to Steve, VK2 SKC, VK2 NMZ.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
VK2 VK2SKC. Or no way to do it, just hook your array up and just install the programs in on your computer, FT8 or your T4, and you see if you can receive it. Because sometimes the computer actually decodes it and listen to for your computer, whereas I use my TV stream as my sound card. It comes straight through there. VK2MNZ, VK2SKC.
VK2 SKC, VK2 NMZ. Fun fact is I've just looked at my utilization, my CPU sitting at 100% and I'm using 6 gig of RAM out of the 8 gig available, but that's probably because I've got 2 tabs open in Chrome. Yeah, I did that for a little bit when I was playing around when I was trying to play around with FT8, I just stuck the speaker up to the to the microphone of the laptop, and it went off, and it tended to go through and work perfectly well. So it could be something to go off and play with. Oh, dearie me. Alrighty, let's drop it down the list there. We'll head to Bob, VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR. One thing I thought, if you weren't having luck with the 857, you need to go into the menu and turn on either the 1200 or the 9600 baud rate that you're trying to use. I started off with 1200, and Don's now got 9600 baud as well running. It occurs about every 15 minutes now on 147.600. So I guess the first thing is to get it receiving. And if you're using a signal link, that's exactly what I'm using. And I'm using some software called Direwolf, DIREWOLF. And if you're looking it up on Google, put in Direwolf software, otherwise you get led up the garden path. All the radios like IC7000s, FT847, 897, all that series of radios have all got, and there could be others as well, and all the companies standardised, were supposed to have standardised on the 6-pin mini DIN plug on the back of the radio. And if you're using that and a signal link, Direwolf finds your signal link, and I was able to receive it. But just going through the process again, and Peter had a bit of a session with Peter today, and he gave me some clues on what to do. So looking to scrap it all and start from the beginning again, see if I can get it going. Anyway, that's the story here, Brad. So just wondering if you can tell me what you're doing with your 857.
Alright, so what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going off and bringing up a screen. Okay, yeah, Bob, I've just gone off and looked on my side, and my bit rate was set to way too much. I'm currently running, it was at 38, or cat rate, yeah, 38,400 BPS. So I'm guessing for me to go through and successfully use the TNC side of things, is I'm going to need to go off and drop that speed down just a touch. Now I have run through and I've looked that software up. I'm just running through it at the moment. Well, that was on GitHub, I think it was. So I'm just searching around. I did see that there was an MFJ TNC modem that was going for a relatively reasonable price, but I figured if I've still got this one, then that's going to it's the Yaesu SCU17, which is the one that I run. So I'm hoping that it's just going to need to have a play with it. Just trying to find the software on that website now. It's not having much luck with that.
It is on GitHub. What I do, I set my COM port up to 9600 baud, but the data rate for the socket at the back is what you've got to select, and that outputs the right signal for you on the 6-pin mini DIN plug at the back. I'm not sure what it does with the mic socket. Brad, over.
Alrighty. I might go maybe after once the net comes through and winds up, is I might come through and have a bit more of a play with it, just to see what I can do with getting it working. Looks like I've found a link. Oh no, download. All right, I found the installation file, so I'm going to go through and download that, and then the next one I'll do it once the net is done and finished. Is I'll go through and I'll drop the baud rate down and see if I can't get something from it. So it is something, yes, that I do have an interest in getting working and being able to have a bit of a play with, but it's just the time side of things. But if I can get it going, then that will be excellent. A couple of things there, as I can see. Okay, that was Jay that left a comment about Echo Link. What else have we got here? Oh, we have George, who's N9PNO, who has dropped into the live stream, mate. Thank you. Hello there and welcome. Exciting something going on besides the Yaesu Fusion networks or any other unprotected something. I can't, my PC's mucking up. What's he doing? He's at work in a truck in Chicago. I live here in Iowa. I think I may have had a chat with you possibly before going through on Fusion, or I was going through DMR or something. Speaking of that, maybe that's something there that if any of our listeners out there can do, is I'm happy to go through and jump into a DMR talk group after the net, and we can have a bit of a further chat there for maybe some of our international guests. Anyway, I'll flick it back. We've done there, Bob. Was there anything else that you wanted to jump in before I move it down the list? VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR. No, look, I'll bug out at this stage. I've got a visitor. Youngest daughter has dropped in, and I'll catch up with you all on Saturday for the lecture on surface mount soldering. VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR.
Alrighty, Bob, mate. That is not a problem at all. Yeah, definitely a good idea to go through, see your daughter, and spend some time with them. So yeah, I'll be in on the Saturday at some point as well. So we'll be able to see something there, anyways. Okay, so what else do I have anything else here? Just double checking. No, I think we're good. I've also I don't know whether it's going to work or not, but I'm just having a bit of a play, see how much I can break my computer. I just introduced another window but into the live stream, but I don't know whether it's actually going to go through and work or not. I'm stressing the PC enough as it is. So definitely interested to see if it shows up. Okay, so that's all good, Bobby. We'll 7-3, mate, and we'll catch you next time. So we'll go down there today. VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 KFU, not much more to add. I was about to mention the lecture this coming Saturday on surface mount soldering, but of course somebody already beat me to it, and NBN, I have a wireless backup, but believe me, words that I cannot use on air cannot describe it, shall we say. VK2 NMR, VK2 KFU.
And you were, yeah, my apologies there, you were right. It was It was the 21st. Oh dear, mate. VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. If you can just give me a quick second there, guys. I'm just going to press the pause button on this just for a moment. Really just so I can go out and grab my my other radio. My apologies, folks. I'll be back there in a moment. Hang on a tick. VK2 NMZ, I'm back in the land here. So I just needed to run out and just went off to grab that. Whoop, let's try that again. So this is so we can do a little bit of DMRing afterwards. So yeah, so who were we? We went through and spoke with Dave, and now we're down there to Alan, a VK2 MG. VK, oh, not linked, the VK2 NMZ.
VK2NMZ and Central Coast Amateur Radio Club Net VK2MG. Only want to add here, there's been a few activators going on during the week I've managed to chase. Most notably, Mike's going around all of the Keith Roderick parks in Victoria at the moment. I've got about, I think, 11 of those left to get now, and he's going to be doing a few of those. Our disappointment is we've got VK4 VXX's Portable 6, and I've not managed to snag him, not for lack of trying. VK2NMZ, VK2MG.
VK2MG, VK2 NMZ. Oh dear fate. It's all going through and all happening here. Oh dear. I did have a question. What have we got here? Saturday, AO92 rising over New South Wales. That's not me. George, I can see you there making comments. What I can do, George, if your fusion in your truck, once the net goes through and finishes, is what I can go off and do is I can go through and flick on a DMR to YSF bridge through here and have a chat to you through YSX if you want. But anyway, that's considering third-party traffic, so I'll back off right there. But since you are another amateur, N9PNO. Okay, guys. So we're down there at the bottom of the list again. I'll just kick it back up there to Dave. This will be the round 3 and the final round for the evening. I did want to go through and say thanks to everybody that has come along tonight and is joining in. Without you guys, these nets won't come through and be successful. As you can see, or for the people who are looking through the Book of Faces, is we are looking at just formalizing things a little bit more and putting just a tad more structure into it. So if you haven't gone through and given the page a like, definitely go and do that. You can look up our club's name, Central Coast Amateur Radio Club, and give it a like. That would be awesome. And I'm rambling now, so let's go back up to the top there today. VK2 VGA, or VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 VGA. Well, it's been a great evening. and I'll say 73s to you and everyone else on the net tonight, and thanks for hosting it yet again. I know I haven't been around for a while, but that's what school does to you, unfortunately. Luckily, I'll be out of the woods in a year or so after the HSC goes away, which is good news. Just a final word on digital interfaces. I have used a sound card on my computer, USB sound card actually, taking the audio out of my ICOM 718 into the computer and decoding from FT8. I haven't tried FT4 yet. I don't know much about it actually. I've yet to go and research it, but it sounds very interesting. I was planning to read the data sheet of the radio, work out the microphone pinouts, and get the audio out of my computer connecting to the microphone audio in, and of course the audio out from the radio going to the computer's audio in, or microphone in this case, and using the Arduino just to communicate with the ICOM 718 through CAT, just to, actually no, I wouldn't even need to do that. I was going to say I could use CAT for push-to-talk, but I could just use the push-to-talk line in the microphone, so I just use the Arduino to toggle that line over serial from the computer, and I'm pretty sure there's a program that has a plug-in for it. I think Direwolf has a plug-in for it, I'm not sure. But it's all doable. I'll get around to it one day. Anyway, 73s to all on the net tonight, and I'll hand it back to you. VK2NMZ, VK2VGA.
Oh, thank you very much there, David, for dropping by. And yeah, FT4 was a new version, which is only up for testing at the moment, but still something worthwhile playing around with, as it has a lot more sensitivity. So all good there, mate. Thank you very much for dropping by, and hopefully we'll go through and catch up some point or other, maybe even at Dural next week. Well, I'm going to assume that was your final, so I'm going to go through and I'll say the goodbyes here for you, and we'll catch up with you next time. VK2 VGA, VK2 NMZ, and we'll move it down the list there to Steve, VK2 SKC, VK2 NMZ.
To MNZ, VK2 SKC in the group. Now, years ago, for the older radios, there used to be a part where you could actually hook up the microphone, connect that straight to your computer. So use the microphone, use the computer to talk to, or whatever, text, send messages back and forwards, whatever. Also, used to be the old Vic 20. Used to be able to use that as a Morse encoder and decoder, and that way actually receives the Morse code, puts it back into normal text up on your screen, and then you can use the keyboard to send it back out. That was one way to learn your Morse that way then. Well, some people did anyway. VK2 MNZ, VK2 SKC in the group.
VK2 SKC, VK2 NMZ. So yeah, it's I did remember going off and seeing things for that. There's so many options and so many things to do these days with just everything. I did go through, just for the laughs, just for some of the streamers out there, is I did go off and just shut down HRL Ham Radio Deluxe, just to see whether it'll make any sort of difference at all, but it didn't. It didn't do anything at all. That's all good. Alrighty, mate. Well, I'm guessing I'm quite enjoying tomorrow, because I have a day off tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to come through and be a nice bit of a break, which I'm looking forward to. Where are we at now? Bob has left, so let's head down there to Dave, VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. Mate, go ahead, see if you're still around.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 KFU. Yep, I'm still here. just make this my last round, because now I have to go off and finish off the club news, having got some updates for it. And also, yep, that's already been mentioned, the club lecture this Saturday, and this Saturday is also election day, so remember, vote early and vote often. VK to NMZ, VK to KFU.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. So mate, yeah, you're absolutely right, is that we do have voting happening that weekend as well, so definitely something that needs to go through and be changed around in case you haven't gone through and considered voting. Definitely go off and do it. What else is there? Oh, one plug there for some of the streamers is I was just having a bit of a play around, and I went off and put in a picture of my Pi Star, but it didn't go through and show the full screen. But that's all right. I'll just get rid of that now. I'm just slowly shutting things down. Oh, good mate. Well, for the Saturday, if you end up being stuck, and so if you do possibly need some other transport to save a very expensive cab fare, maybe just give us a tingle or something, and we may be able to line something up. Alrighty, mate. Let's head down the list to Alan there. VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
Fred, not much more from me. Safe to say it may actually be simpler than if you try than trying to activate the PTT line. Why not just, if the audio you're feeding into it from computer is only going to be what you want to send, just try enabling Vox. That may actually get you by a lot quicker than adding a whole lot of other hardware. Anyway, good night all. 7-3, VK2NMZ, VK2MG.
VK2MG, VK2NMZ. Well, I know, I'm pretty sure this radio does offer Vox, but I'm just thinking, well, because I'm using the sound card, I was hoping that I could use HRD to trigger the push to talk mechanism, so I can use the microphone on it. But I'm sure there's something there for me to be able to go through and get it to work, but it isn't quite there yet. So that's all good there, mate. Thank you very much for dropping by. Now, this has also meant that we are at the very bottom of the list for the net. I did want to go through and make a quick call out there to a couple of the people that are listening and are streaming and watching this stream right now. I can see there's Stuart. I do apologize if I pronounce his name wrong. Is it Nud? Knud? Oh, I'm so sorry. VK2KJJ. That's better. What do we got? AO92 64-degree pass at 20 past 10 tonight. I have an IO antenna over there, which I'm thinking I might go off and pull out and stand awkwardly in the middle of my street and try and grab that pass. More than likely, you'll probably hear VK2 and RC on there as well. Say good day to him. He's a good guy. Okay, what I'm going to do is slightly non-standard-ish, but I'm going to go through and just open the floor up at the moment just to see if there was anybody that did wish to go through and get in a final call, final word, and all that sort of good stuff before we close the net off. So the first person to call in wins. This is VK2 and MZ. Go ahead. No one's calling. Alrighty then. Okay, the floor was suddenly quiet. Okay, so I wanted to go through and put a special thanks out there to VK2 VGA, a VK2 SKC, a VK2 AOR, VK2 KFU, and VK2 MG. Boys, thank you very much for coming along tonight. It is definitely appreciated. And for some of our international listeners out there, what I might do is we can get a little bit creative here, and we can spam the group a little bit, and if it's going to come through, I don't know how cleanly it will, but oh, there we go, it's worked. I'm going to go through and key up Brandmeister Talk Group 91. There we go. And there's someone else there's someone there that's just come through on Talk Group 91. As soon as I close this net off, I'm going to sit on 91 for about 10 minutes or so. And if there is anyone out there in Brandmeister land who did wish to go through and have a chat, feel free to go through and drop in. So once again, this is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club. I wanted to say thank you all for all those who have come out, and I am returning this repeater back to general use. 7-3 all, have a good night, and we'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
VK2 SKC, 73 encapsulate, and also the FT3DR that you looked at before, come stand with a TV monitor, so that way beyond different frequencies it will come through, and also Bluetooth. Catch you later.
Oop, okay, 7-3 there, mate. Oh, and hang on, my browser didn't refresh. Mate, I'm so sorry. Hang on, I'll temporarily open the net back up again if nobody else has flicked their radios off. Let me just very quickly jump into the mailbox. And do apologise for that, Al. Where are we? Hang on. It's coming, it's coming. Sorry, mate. Absolute craziness here. Alright, there we are. Hi Brad, very quiet on the radio of late, a bit on 40 metres late night from the States and around the world, yachtswoman on 7.166 a couple of days ago. The usual FM sats heard, VK2 AOR and VK2 YAD the other night, but usually late at night. Thanks for the net, Brad. Cheers to all. 7-3 Al. Mate, thank you very much appreciated, and now I'm going to go through and close the net for a second time around. See you later, bye bye. Alright guys, so I've jumped off the 2 meter repeater. So as I mentioned before, I've got Brandmeister Talk Group 91 bumping along at the moment. So if there was anybody there that did wish to go through and drop in and say hello via Brandmeister, yeah, I'll be on Talk Group 91. All you need to do is just make a bit of a call out or even leave a comment here, and at least I'll be able to go through and see you there and drop in and say hello. So we got talking at the moment. We have N1MHV who's going off and having a chat to everyone. So really the idea of these live streams is just to mix it up a little bit. Previously it was a concept that we started out where we just stuck our phones in front of the radio. And it was something that was good for a little while, but then we noticed it started getting a lot more popular. And the number of viewers that we had each week that was not only checking in locally to say hello, but was also checking in internationally as well, was absolutely incredible. And this is something which has really started. It's basically we're going through now, and oh, browser's quitting on me. And yeah, it's something that's just really gone through and has taken off, and I don't think there's really any way for us to move back onto this now. We're way too far into it, and it's something that's great, and it's a great initiative, and it's really showing, you know, the little club that's going off and is really getting out there, and is and it's just doing something different. So it's definitely a great thing. There is one thing that I'd love to be able to go through and have a bit of a play with is I think eventually, or once I can move my shack into the house, then that'll make things a lot more comfier, and I'll also be able to um, I'll also be able to go in and have a bit of a better setup in the house, because my shack at the moment is pretty much the garage. That's the main clear place where I have all the cables, all my other gear, and it goes through. It works. It is getting a bit cold at the moment because we're coming into winter, but hey, I'm there and it's working. Oh,
VK2RAG, Summersby.
There's our 10-meter repeater ident, which is Karen there dropping in to say hello. Oh wowee! So it's come through. It has been an absolutely fantastic night, and it's been good. So let's see. Is there anything happening in the world of Brandmeister? Not at the moment. It looks like it's been pretty quiet. Do. Nope, doesn't look like there's anything else going on here. Oh well, okay. If it's coming through and it's being this quiet, then maybe I might go through and possibly drop the stream off and just have a look at it and see what I can do. One thing I did want to have a play with is I can see here I've got a green screen. Whoa. Well, I don't have a green screen, which is a bit annoying, but that's all right. We can go through and we can work with that. Yeah, that doesn't work. And I also shouldn't play around with this live. It probably doesn't look the best, but I haven't had a great deal of time to be able to sit here and play with it either. But anyways, guys, like I said, I'm going to be on Talk Group 91 for a little bit. I'm just about to do a call out. And I wanted to say again, thank you for everyone that did come through and drop in and say hello. It is much appreciated. And we'll catch you guys next week. This is VK2NMZ saying 7-3. Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.